Hi everyone. Let's see what we can talk about with Teams. So, where's everybody working? Who is working from home? Who is working from a co-working space like WeWork or something like that? Who is working from an office? Okay, we have more work to do here, I guess. Let's see. So, who can work from home for 1 day per week? Is it the slacking off day? Where you don't really work and it's like, maybe it's a relaxed day? Which I find super weird because I always work from home and it's not the slacking off day when I'm home. It's the regular work day. So let's see. I work for Elastic, the company behind Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana, Beats. We have a booth over there. And we are all working from home. We are kind of largish by now, like more than 1,000. We have lots of countries, though they change almost every week. So I hope the statistics are more or less correct. But we span quite some reach with distributed teams. And we are really distributed by design. I think it's very hard to add that to a company later on. It's very important to have that from the very start of the company. For example, these here are our 4 founders. By the way, very left and very right are both from Israel, but they were not in Israel when they started the company. And even those 4 were not in the same city. So even the 4 founders started as a distributed team. And that's kind of how we got started and how the entire process for distributed teams got into the company's DNA. These are the tools, because people often ask, like, what are your tools? Like, lots of emails, probably too much email, and GitHub for everything async. And for synchronous communication, we have Slack and Zoom. And Zoom is really nice because you can have 400 or 500 people in one call, and it still works, which I don't know any other tool that works that well. We do have some shared values to make the company work. The first one is that we are adults and being trusted. Nobody's asking you for how many hours have you worked, or nobody's asking you, like, where do you spend your time? My team lead probably doesn't know where I am today, like, not even the country. But it's okay. He trusts me to do the right thing. That's the general idea. However, you also need to be able to set the right boundaries. Because if you're working from home, your work is always with you. Or whenever you go to a coffee place, you could just whoop out your phone and do more Slack, or do a call, or answer more emails. So work is like never staying in the office. It's always close to you. But it's okay to set your own boundaries. You need to figure that out. That's one very important thing. And, well, my team that always says, like, do the right thing. Basically, don't ask me for permission. Like, figure out what is the right thing for the company and then just do that. And if something goes wrong or fails, that's okay. That's part of the company. We take the risk. That's where we want to go. Obviously, there are also downsides to this approach. So the first one is time zones. Like, our team spans, I think, like 10 times or so. We have from Australia, China, South Korea, India, Europe, East Coast, West Coast in the US. Like, somebody will have to suffer. As soon as you have more than 2 continents in one call, somebody has to suffer. We normally try to share the pain. Like, we alternate calls, and I have like these calls at 6 a.m. in the morning, which I really hate, but that's part of being in a team, and somebody has a shitty call every now and then. It has to happen. Also, sometimes communication just fails, especially in writing. Like, people misunderstand, and then discussions get very heated. You need to hop on a video call to fix stuff. Also, we meet in person twice a year so that people can get a bit of a more personal connection and not totally go off the rails when something goes wrong. Then people ask me, like, what are your awesome numbers to show us that this works so much better than any other approach? Unfortunately, we don't have those numbers, and this is probably the comic explaining you why we don't have those numbers. You could always make something up, and I could tell you we are so much better being distributed because of X. But it's probably all just made up and not really the case. I just show you one other indicator. This was, I think, 3 months of almost a year ago, because probably we shouldn't share 2 current dates. But you can see 130 people joined and 9 left. And for us, that's a good indicator. Like, as long as we have this ratio, we seem to be doing okay. And yes, at the moment, around 40 to 50 people a month join the company. So it's kind of a wild ride for that. To wrap up, where do you want to work today? Who wants to work from home nowadays or from a co-working space instead in an office? Obviously, we are hiring. Thanks.